University. He joins me live on Skype from London. Nikolai, thanks for being with Al Jazeera. So we've seen this before between Qatar and these various Gulf nations, but just break down for us what is different this time.
Well, I think we are now seeing the dispute between Qatar and the GCC states becoming much more public. It certainly appears much more serious than before. And I'm very curious as to which GCC state will try to mediate this dispute between Qatar and the remaining members of the GCC.
Who stands a good chance of doing that effectively?
Well, there are two key players we can look at. One would be Kuwait. Indeed, I believe that Kuwait's already been in play for the past few days and has been in contact with Qatari officials. But another potential player would be Oman, because they are seen as the traditional mediator between Iran. We have to remember that this incident has been linked to Iran, so they are the traditional mediators between Iran and, if you like, the outside world. They've always been there for backdoor diplomacy. Anyone who wants to talk to Iran goes through Oman.
What do you think Saudi Arabia wants to achieve from doing this?
Well, I think Saudi Arabia right now, this is not necessarily a new incident. Saudi Arabia wants to flex some muscle, but I think we also have to look at the relations of Saudi Arabia with the United States right now, certainly with the Trump presidential administration. I believe that President Trump visited the GCC states recently, and he suggested forming what would be an Arab NATO alliance. And so I think that there is also this aspect to discuss and to consider.
There are other countries like Turkey and Russia. There's obviously been talk. Those sides have also been addressing the fact that this needs to be dealt with internally. But could they possibly play a role to try and diffuse the situation?
To an extent, they could. But I think that it is probably going to be more productive if the dispute is resolved internally. Because I think that the GCC as a group, it's now going to focus on unity or lack of unity. And to maintain political unity, you do need an internal mediator.
And Nikolai, can you just explain to us just the dynamics within the Gulf Cooperation Council, just for an international audience that probably aren't too aware of the way in which it functions?
Yes, certainly. I mean, the GCC, the Gulf Cooperation Council, is supposed to unite all the Gulf states for political and security purposes. It acts as a way for these states to find common ground and also address common security risks. So it is quite an important coalition, if you like. It's perhaps a bit like, I don't know, the EU, for example, but for the Gulf specifically. And I think that it is a framework in which certain countries, such as, for example, Oman, would try to act as mediator because some of them want to flex their own political muscle on the regional stage. And this is one of the ways they can do that.
Okay, Nikolai Due-Gundersen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Now,